Here's where we get to some really strange questions.
Oh, boy.
How grateful are you?
How grateful do I have to be?
Beats me.
On to the next question.
Grateful enough, I guess. Is it true that at the country fair there will be no speakers and you will give everyone in the audience headphones?
Yes.
As someone who is close to the recording industry...
Hey, I'm not close to the recording industry.
But you make records?
We make records.
Okay.
But that's not the same as being close to the recording industry, believe me.
Okay. Do you believe that backmasking, or the process of putting backwards messages on albums, is A, possible, and B, being done?
No, I think it's, well, I think it's certainly probably possible, but I think it's the total bullshit, you know. I've run into this thing, I've seen this business on Christian television, you know, and, God, I can't believe that there are people that are that paranoid, you know. And I just don't, I don't buy it, you know. I mean, my experience in the recording business is there's nobody that devious, for one thing, and it's total bullshit.
Okay.
No other way I can deal with that idea that way. There was a show. I mean, somebody devoted an hour to that discussion. Can you believe it?
No,
and they played what they could describe as examples. Now, it's one thing to put a piece of tape on backwards, you know, for a joke and stuff like that, and people have done that. There was a time when people did that a lot back in the psychedelic days, you know, for fun, you know, and for weirdness of sound and stuff like that. But I mean, it just, you know, at what it costs to work in the studio nowadays and stuff like that, to do stuff that's that weird and that, you know, I don't buy it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there was one morning my partner and I took a bunch of Christmas songs and played them backwards. And you would not believe the things they say in Christmas songs, you know. I'm never going to Baltimore, Maryland, that's for sure.
It's just the nature of language is such that, you know, you take any group of linguistic sounds and play them backwards, and, or in any direction, really, and you're gonna run into something, but it's like monkeys and typewriters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's purely random stuff, and I think that any evidence that anybody comes up with is so sparse and so weak.
Yeah.
You know, that in order to create such a category of that in terms of discussion or anything like that, or to use that as some kind of lever to make moral judgments about music, I think is just really mad, you know. And I think you could take any body of music, including gospel music, play it backwards, and you'll find all kinds of satanic messages in there, if that's what your ear is listening for, you know what I mean?
Right. There's one question that I personally would like to ask, and that is, when you go into a guitar solo, do you really know where you're going to go or where you're going to end up, or
No.
do you have any specific idea of what you're going to do once you launch into it?
Rarely. I don't think that way, you know. It just isn't. My mind is not constructed that way. Although, let me put it that there are different levels of consciousness that occur on stage, and sometimes there are moments of like extreme lucidity and stuff like that, and I love it when it's that way, in which music is like a language, you know. And sometimes an idea to me is. Sometimes I have an idea which is like a paragraph, and then you could say that I know where I'm going in a way. But you know, the specifics and the getting there and the actuality of the note-to-note reality of it and continuity of it and so forth is very much a matter of the moment, and doesn't have to do with a larger picture of it. You know what I mean? But ideally, you have all kinds of different levels going, and sometimes I'll have an idea that's maybe only a word, you know, as opposed to a paragraph. So, using that kind of language to talk about a solo, I can construct them. Sometimes they're constructed strictly word to word, and they don't have content in the sense of a paragraph. Sometimes it's a paragraph, and the word to word part will be nonsensical. You know what I mean? And sometimes the whole thing will have a certain kind of syntax and a certain kind of flow. Sometimes I think in terms of what this passage of music wants is a lot of long notes, you know, things like that. But one of the nice things about music is that it has infinite possibilities in terms of the ways you can conceive of it. You know, the ways you
Right.
can think about what you can think about while you're executing a piece of music, or, you know, that's one of the things that's wonderful about music is there's so much room in there.
But then there are certain riffs that invariably turn up in certain songs.
Yeah,
And
that has to do with the identity of the song, you know, the setting of the song. That is my own, that's part of my own thing, like, you could describe it as a conception of what the song is, or a concept of how the song is identified musically. And so if you have, and that has to do with really the writing of the song. So for me, like a riff, well, like, for example, that the riff in Satisfaction, you know, that's part of the song.
Uh-huh.
And to leave that out, for example, if to leave that out of that song, it would no longer be that song. And, you know, there are Grateful Dead songs that I feel the same way about. There are things that are part of the song, you know. But that's one of those, you know, give and take.
Right.
You know, that's one of those things that can change as the time goes by, too.
Okay. So just like, hi, this is Jerry Garcia. Hope to see you at the Country Fair site, or come on out to the Country Fair site for our picnic Saturday.
Okay, this is, hi, this is Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead. Come on out to our picnic at the Country Fair site this Saturday.
Okay.
Or else.
Okay.